Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order on April 10th. We would have Sarah please do the roll call.
Mercedes Evans.
Here.
Thomas Fink is not here. Michelle Forbes.
Here.
Jennifer Hoover.
Here.
Tim Jackson.
Here.
Luisa Lasova is not here. Emily Smith.
Here.
Josiah Garber.
Here.
Thank you, Sarah. Quorum being present, we'll move ahead and start with Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just a quick announcement, and we'll hear potentially more from the Planning and Zoning Committee report, but I just wanted to let everyone know that you may have noted that we do have an action item to table the rental ordinance that we had previously advertised last month. So we'll get into a little bit more detail about that later this evening, but by all means, if you do have comments, please offer them so that we may take them into consideration as well. With that, we'll move on to our first period of public comment. Please provide your name, address, and keep your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Good evening. I'm Commander Charlie Sell, U.S. Navy retired, 915 Country Club Road. I'm just coming here today to ask for the council's renewed attention to the speeding and other unsafe driving practices that are taking place on Country Club Road. It's been this way since the last time I spoke to the council a couple of times ago, back last year. I understand from Chief that there are plans in place to address it, but I just wanted to make sure that I was here beating the drum again to say it's a continued problem. It hasn't gotten any better. If anything, it's getting worse. So thanks to the council for your help and attention. Thanks, Chief. Thanks.
Thank you for those comments. Anyone else who would wish to offer public comment at this time? Okay, thank you. I don't have any other further announcements, I guess, other than to say congratulations on completing our first quarter. We have our first 3 months behind us. So with that, I'll turn to Sarah for her manager's report.
Thank you. Our staff has met with the leadership of the program that's called My Work. It offers paid work experience for special needs young adults. And we've participated with this program. It's run through the Department of Labor and Industry, and we've used them during the summer for the past 2 years. And so we will host a My Work team this summer again who will assist with public works and recreation projects, and they are overseen by their own program supervisor, but our staff assigns them with tasks to work on. And they are paid. They're not volunteers, so they work very hard. A little update on our sustainability committee. They are going strong. On March 26th, we hosted the second presentation in the Reduce, Recycle, and Re-Energize in 2024 speaker series. And we had a presentation by Dennis Rowan of CCA for PA, which Council approved as a resolution memorandum of understanding at the last meeting. They are planning to go to the PUC in April to request approval for CCA program. And the committee is in discussion about a date for their next speaker session, which is planned to focus on solar panels, is probably our topic, but we're still working that out. And little do they know, but the committee is organizing a collection program for eclipse viewing glasses. And the program is called Astronomers Without Borders. So I'm not sure what Astronomers with Borders would be, but we're working on a plan in place to have a plan in place by the end of this week. We have confirmed that they will take them if they have the certain ISO number on the inside. They are not recyclable in curbside recycling bins. So please encourage your neighbors, if you don't If you need to dispose of them and don't feel like waiting 20 years for the next eclipse, you can't you put them in the trash, don't put them in the recycling. All members of the administrative and public works staff who are not already trained in CPR and first aid will be in training with our own officer, Tricia Mensch, on Monday, April 15th. The office will be open because thankfully Audrey already has her CPR and first aid certification, so she will be entirely responsible for staffing the office, but no one else will be available. We will all be in here doing all the things. That's not my favorite thing to do, but I'm very thankful to Officer Mensch for her skills and willingness to walk us all through it. One of the things on the agenda seems like a really simple thing, but I wanted to highlight it. We've officially renewed and received our renewal of our Tree City USA status for another year. Excuse me. Tree City USA is a program of the Arbor Day Foundation, which supports the planting and maintenance of trees in urban areas. So this is our second year of renewal after a number of years of lapse in our participation. So I was really glad to get that going again with our Shade Tree Commission. They oversee trees in the public right-of-way and provide information to residents to help them choose the right tree for the right location. They do not oversee trees outside the public right-of-way. No matter how much people ask them to, they do not. So we appreciate when neighbors, we've had a lot of tree questions, a lot of wind, a lot of trees. We're Tree City USA. It comes with pros and cons. And we always encourage neighbors to work together to deal with trees that obviously go across multiple property lines. One of the requirements of maintaining our Tree City USA status is that we recognize Arbor Day with the proclamation that is included on tonight's agenda. The Shade Tree Commission, another requirement is that they must host a public education and outreach event, and the Arbor Day Foundation has approved their participation in Stormfest as their public outreach event for the year, even though it's not on Arbor Day. So that's my report.
Thank you, Sarah. Moving on then to the mayor's report.
Okay, thank you. The police department handled 892 complaints in the month of March, or calls. Yearly total is 2,621. Last Friday, the police department, along with the school district, put together the recognition day for all the crossing guards, which was a very nice event attended by some of the borough officials, and Representative Patty Kim and a rep from Senator Rothman's office was there as well. It was very nice. Chief, thank you for doing that. Fire department, 36 calls in March, 74 man-hours. We are just starting our 8 weeks of ladder truck training. And also, in case you haven't noticed, the 3 new overhead doors, or garage doors, have been installed on the station. And thanks again to Borough Council for including that in this year's budget. So, looks great. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving then on to our engineer's report.
Thank you, Matthew Addig. Sitting in tonight for Mike Hess. He sends his apologies. He did have a conflict. So a couple items to go over this evening. The first being the Siebert Park pump station replacement. Since our engineer's report, there is no change at this time. We are still working through a couple avenues with contractor and possibly the subcontractor as well to get that all sorted out. There is still a little over a month left on that contract timeline, so we do still have some time to get everything smoothed out and everybody paid there. The 2024 paving project, we opened bids on April 1st, and EK Services provided the low bid there for an amount of $360,924.59. That did include the base bid plus all alternates. Our budget this year was $400,000, so it would be our position to recommend that the council approve and award that bid to EK Services pending the receipt of all bonds and insurance. For the Camp Hill Streetscape project, we did get a little delayed. The plan was to start phase 1 construction there last week. Due to all the rain, certainly contractors couldn't get going, but on Monday they were able to complete the slip lining of the section there between 22nd and 24th Streets. So now that the curb portion is done, we are hopeful that the contractor will be able to reduce traffic impacts a little bit at that time, since they can hopefully pull their equipment more out of the street and simply be working on sidewalk at this time. And lastly, for the Seaward Park Stream Trail and kayak launch, that one again, we are still waiting at this point on one insurance policy item from the contractor. We did have a pre-construction meeting this morning, and it was discussed with them again that we are still waiting on that item. Essentially at this point, the timeline for completion doesn't end, but their timeline for starting just gets pushed back. So we will continue working with them to ensure that we receive that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our consent agenda, is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mercedes, second by Emily. To approve the consent agenda, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the consent agenda is adopted. Moving on then to reports of committees, we will start with our Public Safety Committee. Tim?
So under consideration this evening is an ordinance for a couple of stop sign placements along Mayfred Lane. Additionally, the mayor just went over the Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, so I appreciate those who were able to attend, and most importantly, those who serve in that role. We then talked about re-engaging the public with the police engagement activities, Coffee with the Cop, with Cornerstone Coffee along with Starbucks. So there's the dates specifically are TBD, but will be announced and advertised soon. And then lastly, 8 graduates for the reinvigoration of the Citizens Police Academy that concluded on March 28th. So I appreciate the chief, his team, and everybody who was able to participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Any questions regarding the stop signs? No? Okay.
One question.
One question.
What street are they on? What streets are they on?
South
It's like,
31st and
31st.
South 21st at Mayfred Lane.
thank you.
Okay. Moving on to Public Works. On behalf of Louisa, I will go ahead and share her report, but I will just focus on the 2 action items. For the remainder of the items, you may see the committee minutes for additional discussion, most of which were also included in the engineer's report. But the committee did meet on April 2nd, and it will meet again on May 7th. As the engineer had shared, we discussed the bids that were received for this year's paving project, and the bids were lower than the budgeted amount, including all 3 alternates. The committee therefore recommends awarding the base bid and all our alternates to EK Services Incorporated. And the paving area will include sections of 34th Street, Bedford Street, Runson Road, and Walnut Street. And all sidewalks and curbs in the paving area have been marked for property owners to repair. Any questions on that particular item?
And if I could just note that all the sidewalks have been marked, and notices were sent out to a group of the property owners once we realized that we would be doing an additional street. We did mark some more sidewalks that had not been initially marked. All of those residents will start out by receiving a letter and a notice of violation. And the notice of violation is just to start crossing the Ts in case we do have to proceed against someone. We have a letter with it that says, sorry, this says notice of violation, but, you know, technically you are in violation. So we're trying to make it as simple as we can for people. They still won't have to pay permit fees, but we do ask that they come in and get permits for those.
And that process empowers us to do the work in the event that we would have to.
That's correct. So the first round, we've heard from a lot of people. We haven't heard from everyone, so that group of individuals will also be receiving notices of violation by certified mail if we don't hear from them soon. All of it has to be done by the end of June.
Okay, thank you for that addition. The other action item then for this evening is regarding the Market Streetscape project. It's a mouthful. As was indicated, Phase 1 is underway. York Excavating has started their work from 24th Street to 22nd Street on the south side. Our final step in calculating the amount to be paid by the Market Street property owners is to adopt the ordinance that we advertised last month to assess for public improvements, which has been, as I said, advertised for consideration. Once that ordinance is adopted, then each property owner will receive a notice explaining the total value of the work to be performed at their properties and the actual amount the borough is billing them based on the number of deficient sidewalk panels. Property owners will have up to 18 months from the date of invoices to make payments. Any questions regarding that work? Okay, that concludes the Public Works Committee report. Moving on then to community and business relations.
Okay, so we met on March 19th. We met with a DCHA board member and a business owner who has a business on Market Street, and we discussed the streetscape project, which has already begun. The businesses are open even while construction is going on, and the alleys are an option to get to their parking lots if they have them and the driveways are blocked. So please continue to patronize the businesses that are there because they're all open and they still like to see you. We also continued conversation about the Sustainable Storefronts program. It is totally voluntary, but we'd like to incentivize borough businesses to help us meet our goals in the borough's climate action plan by committing to sustainable practices. The DCHA also plans on giving input into the program, and we will continue discussing it at upcoming meetings. And the committee also discussed the many ways that the community is informed about various things going on, like projects and borough events, meetings, emergencies, and more. It is easy to sign up on the borough website for whatever it is that you're interested in. And many thanks to Julie for all of the hard work and dedication she has given to this task. And that's my report.
Thank you, Michelle. Any questions from Michelle? Okay. Moving on then to Parks and Recreation. Emily?
Thanks. A couple things before I go over the action items. First of all, we had our bunny extravaganza on March 21st. There were 31 kids registered. The Recreation Department would like to thank the following businesses who contributed or sponsored the event. Hershey Foods, Cornerstone Coffee House, Giant Foods, Carnes Quality Foods, and Weiss Markets. Also, the Kite Festival is coming up on May 19th from 1 to 4. It's the 25th Annual Kite Festival, and there is going to be a homemade kite contest. All the details are on our website, and Next Tier Bank is our sponsor for this event. So on to our action items. First of all, we need some more camp counselors, a couple. But the second part is that we desperately need lifeguards, Josiah. No pressure. Upon doing some research on the salaries of other lifeguards, or the hourly wages of other lifeguards at pools nearby, it seems that our hourly wage is pretty low. And so in an effort to find more lifeguards so that we can open the pool for its full hours, our committee is suggesting that we increase the wages of the lifeguards, front desk staff, and managers of the pool by $3 an hour. And then also that any returning lifeguards would get an additional $1 an hour when they come back the next year. What we found is that even though we are reimbursing lifeguards for half of their certification fee, that didn't bring them back necessarily. So we need to incentivize them to be able to come back and feel like they're making a living wage. So that's going to be one of our agenda items. The other agenda item that we have is Jeremy Verbitsky would like to plant a tree in Seabrook Park. So obviously the committee loves trees, and we would like to recommend that we say yes to that. And that concludes my report.
Can you say what the current rate for the lifeguard is?
The current rate for lifeguards at Camp Hill is $10 an hour starting, and we would like to increase it to $13 an hour. Local pools around us pay 15, 18, various numbers that seem crazy, but even beyond the other pools, the problem is that some lifeguards are going to other jobs where there's also higher wages because all the wages went up everywhere. So we would like to make sure that our lifeguards get paid. Does anyone else have any questions? No?
Thank you, Emily. Moving on then to planning and zoning.
Which will be me as well. The Planning and Zoning Committee met on March 15th. We reviewed the rental property ordinance as advertised and discussed what steps would be needed to fully implement the ordinance. Since our meeting, we've received a number of comments which we would like to discuss more extensively in committee. The committee's recommendation tonight will be to table the ordinance until the May 8th council meeting for further consideration. The draft ordinance is available on the website. It does not need to be re-advertised if we table it until the next meeting. The next action item for your consideration tonight is the approval of a 30-day extension for the land development plan at 510 South 31st Street to May 8th. The plan has now been reviewed by the County Planning Commission and will be reviewed by the Borough Planning Commission on Tuesday. And the final action item is the approval of a stormwater operations and maintenance agreement for a pervious parking area at 1401 Market Street. This is standard agreement that will be recorded at the county so that the pervious pavement will be maintained as designed. Any questions on that? No?
Thank you. Lastly, we have administration and finance. Mercedes?
All right, our committee met on March 25th. This month's package includes a new item, which is a bullet point presentation that highlights just kind of points of interest for people so they don't have to go through like line by line and like the more complicated budget numbers. We're going to have an action item to consider a resolution to approve collection procedures and fees for collection of delinquent sewer accounts. So I'm just going to read this explanation, and so I don't mess it up. The borough's collection attorney has recommended that the borough adopt a resolution approving our collection procedures and the schedule of attorney's fees to be added to the amounts collected for delinquent sanitary sewer accounts. This resolution is simply an update of our collection attorney's fees schedule to match the county's updated fee schedule. No other changes have been made to our current collection process other than the updates to the schedule of fees. The next thing is there's going to be a resolution to adopt the updated accident and injury prevention manual. And if I remember correctly, Sarah, we get a 5% discount on our workers. Okay, so this is a step toward. So we end up, if it works out, we'll get like a 5% discount. Okay, great, on insurance. And Sarah already went through the Arbor Day designation resolution. Anybody have any questions? And our next meeting is likely going to be moved to April 29th, so just stay tuned on the website. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercedes. Moving on then to our liaison reports, beginning with the Borough School District. Tim?
Yeah, the only update that we have right now is that the next meeting is currently scheduled for April the 24th at 7 PM in the District Administration Building. As always, that meeting is open to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. There was no report from the Stormwater Authority, correct? They did not meet, okay. Moving on then, Sustainability Committee, you did that as part of your report as well? Thank you. They meet tomorrow. Anything to report from the Downtown Camp Hill Association?
Sure. The plein air art walk is Saturday, May 18th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The farmers market opens May 14th. There are currently 24 vendors that are planning on coming, and Downtown Camp Hill Association is still accepting applications for additional vendors for the farmers market. And then, of course, I agree with what Michelle said. All the downtown businesses are open regardless of the paving on Market Street, the sidewalk paving and everything. And sign up for our e-digest because it is the best way to find out all of the information you need to know about the borough. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Capital Region Council of Governments, did they meet?
They did. Do you want the library first or the CapCog?
Oh, library, please.
Library? It's quick. It's quicker. This week is National Library Week. Beginning Thursday, April 18th through Sunday the 21st, the Friends of Frederickson are having their book and media sale that benefits the library. And blueberries are now on sale until July 2nd. That's my report.
Okay, now moving on to the Capital Region Council of Governments, please.
Okay, we did go to their meeting on March 18th, which included two presentations. One was by Mary Kuna, who's the Executive Director of Housing and Redevelopment Authority of Cumberland County, who discussed the steps for municipalities that they have to do in the blight process. And the second was by Sean Davidson. He is Health and Safety and Environment Team Lead at RITU. Sean gave the background on PA House Bill 299 that was passed on May 2nd in 2023, and it's currently at the Senate with Senate Bill 93, Labor and Industry. So the purpose of the bill is to institute OSHA standards and regulations for public entities at the state level, and this is all like a result of an accident, a fatal accident that happened to one of their employees. So they're still working on that to get it going. The other news, I guess, with CapCog is that their auction is going to be at the same place on July 17th, and they said that smaller items do really well as well, so they're hoping that everyone participates. Next meeting is May 20th. That's it.
I suppose we have to find something to sell. All right, thank you, everyone. Moving on to our second period of public comment. If you have a public comment, please come to the podium. Okay, seeing none. That takes us to our action items this evening, beginning with 11A. Is there a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 202402 to add stop signs at the intersections of Mayfred Lane and South 21st Street and Mayfred Lane and South 31st Street?
So moved.
Tim moves. Is there a second? It's been moved by Tim and seconded by Emily to approve ordinance 2024-02. All in favor say aye. Aye. Pause one moment. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ordinance 2024-02 passes unanimously. Next, is there a motion and a second to award too many numbers. Sorry. Award the 2024 paving project, including all alternates, to EK Services in the amount of $360,924.59, pending receipt of bonds and insurance. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Michelle moves, Emily seconds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say nay. The paving, the award for the paving project passes unanimously. Moving on then to 11C. Is there a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 2024-03 to assess fees for public improvements in the Market Street streetscape area?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mercedes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-03 passes unanimously. Next, item 11D. Is there a motion and a second to approve the request from Jeremy Verbitsky to plant a tree in Siebert Park?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Michelle. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to approve the tree request passes unanimously. Next, item 11E. Is there a motion and a second to approve an increase of $3 per hour for the positions of lifeguard, pool assistant manager, pool manager, and pool front desk workers, with an additional $1 per hour increase for returning lifeguards?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second? Tim seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to approve the increase passes unanimously. Bringing us to 11F. Is there a motion and a second to table the rental property ordinance for additional discussion until the May 8th council meeting?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Mercedes seconds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion to table the rental ordinance until May 8th passes unanimously. Is there a motion and a second to approve the 30-day extension for land development plan at 510 South 31st Street to May 8th?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Michelle seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The motion to approve the extension passes unanimously. Moving on, is there a motion and a second to approve the stormwater operations and maintenance agreement for 1401 Market Street?
So moved.
Emily moves. Is there a second? Second. Tim seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to approve the stormwater agreement, O&M agreement passes unanimously. Is there a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2024-04 to approve collection procedures and fees for collection of delinquent sewer accounts?
So moved.
Mercedes moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Michelle seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to approve resolution 2024-04 passes unanimously. Two more to go. Is there a motion and a second to adopt the updated accident and injury prevention program manual?
So moved.
Mercedes moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle. Mercedes has moved. Michelle has seconded to adopt the updated manual. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously to adopt the manual. And lastly, is there a motion and a second to approve the proclamation of April 26, 2024 as Arbor Day?
So moved. Second.
Mercedes moves. Emily seconds to approve the proclamation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to approve the proclamation passes unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to our last period of public comment. If you have any comment, please come to the podium. No? Okay. If anything comes to your mind afterwards, please feel free to email us. You know how to reach us. Are there any closing remarks by council?
Record meeting. Is it?
Yeah.
Josiah, comment?
I just like to say, I'm not sure if it's like an official holiday, but I think it's National Siblings Day. So maybe reach out to your siblings, tell them you love them. So, yep.
And also make sure to make your plan to vote. Thank you. All right, any other further business before council? Seeing none, hearing none, the motion stands adjourned. Thank you.